you see the Chelsea United scoreline today?
101st minute. Incroyable.
Penalty 90 plus 10, and then a second goal by the same guy, or a third goal by Cole Palmer, 90 plus 11.
I would say from about match day 6, I thought I was going to count Chelsea out. The fact that we're even just pulling a couple of punches late in the year.
Okay, Ten Hag needs to go. I'm sorry. And I know one of my biggest complaints with United is that they've been just revolving door for managers, but Ten Hag needs to go. There's no difference from where they were when he took over compared to where they are now. And it's been
insanity.
Insanity.
Yeah. I cannot believe you're saying that. There's no way he needs to go. Are we just going to do the same thing that we've done for the last decade? Really?
Well, here's the thing. Maybe with the new guy,
tell me the thing.
I'll tell you. With the local guy, with Ratcliffe, the local boy, maybe he's got some actual plan or vision for the future of United and not just looking at it as a Glazer's cash cow, right? He's not pulling dividends from this crap, and maybe he's actually got a plan of somebody who can come in and deal with it. But I think Manchester's been such a mess since Fergie left, and it started with the whole of like how do you replace Fergie with just as if you're another manager coming in. That's huge shoes to fill.
Okay, we're starting this one off on the complete wrong foot.
What?
How many times have you said that in the past? I don't care, the Glazers or whoever was in charge, all of a sudden it's this person's fault. You had Jose Mourinho. I'm a big Jose Mourinho fan. He took you to a Europa League final.
They won with him.
Didn't you win? And then you can't. If you're going to crown his ass. But you fired him very soon after that. So I have zero time for this bullshit that is straight, hey, he needs to go. What coach do you need? Do you need the resurrection of, I don't know.
I like Mourinho. As I've gotten older, it's like a fine wine. I like Mourinho. I wish he would have stayed, but I think managers like Mourinho, him especially, he's got a shelf life. Eventually, he loses the room. That's what happened with Louis van Gaal as well. He lost the room, and then he tried to get it back, but it was too late. No, I agree. It's too much of a revolving door. But Ten Hag, there's been zero improvements, and maybe I'm not giving Ratcliffe enough time. Maybe with his vision and Ten Hag, they can actually move forward. So I'm not going to put it all on him for this loss against Chelsea, because it's definitely not, but there were still lackluster performances all across, other than Bruno Fernandes and Garnacho. It was, and there was some bad bounces, but still, they're no better off now than when they were 2 seasons ago when he took over. You got guys coming in and like Ralph Ragnick, who basically didn't want the job permanently. He was like, no, this is such a shit show.
Okay, so
I think it's a total mess in there.
If you're gonna sit there in front of your Queen poster and say that trash that you've been Man U fans have been talking about for 14 years, whenever Fergie left, who do you want to be your replacement? I'm tired of hearing this. We need a new guy. No,
we need Pep.
He's not going to do it. He's not going to do it. Name another one that would actually do it.
Ancelotti. We need Ancelotti.
Stop it, because you're playing on my heartstrings.
I think we need some quiet leadership.
Yeah.
Look, I think it was a joke all the way through. David Moyes got the job because he was Fergie's pick for successor because they were good friends, and I just don't.
And he's Scottish.
Yeah, and David Moyes made some questionable signings. Fellaini, just because he did decent for you at in Everton, but now we're going back like 12 years.
The entire time that you've been saying, we need a new coach.
Giggsy in the interim, Carrick in the interim, Louis van Gaal, Jose Mourinho, Ralph Ragnick in the interim. Ollie, it was too much of the old boys club as well, right? Like Giggsy, Carrick, Ollie, who, interestingly enough, told them to sign Erling Haaland, even though he's overrated, before he was playing for Dortmund. They said no. Ralph Ragnick told them to sign Haaland as well, as also told them to sign Julian Alvarez. And they said no.
I can't believe these words are coming out of my mouth right now. I hear what you said. Those coaches, they're like, yeah, let's go sign this, let's go sign that. How many times did you hear Arsene Wenger say, I almost signed Ronaldo? No, but how many times did you hear, they almost signed everybody?
That one comes up a lot. No, that's different of they almost signed. It was the manager was telling the board, we need to sign these people, and the board was saying no. And the difference between United and Arsenal is United was actually willing to pay for players, unlike Arsenal. Lacazette was was your highest paid transfer at one point at like 40 million euros, which is actually quite high at the time for them.
Don't toss in this Yor. Don't toss in this Yor.
Oh, right, I forgot.
I'm not. Yeah, I'm not a gooner.
Your brother's an Arsenal fan, isn't he?
Wow, the memory on you.
Yeah, right. I took some Lions Mane today, so.
Yeah. Okay, but back to what
fine.
saying.
Is this what we're gonna do? We're gonna fix United. Is this what we want? We're gonna fix United now, right here, right now. Ten Hag needs to go. Yeah, he's gone.
We're not
it's
going
over.
to. I think it's the exact same situation as Chelsea. Chelsea was clinical. We won a couple of Champions League,
and you won a couple Premier Leagues in the last 10 years. Like it's actually been decent run for you guys.
But the rebuild has been rough. Rough.
This is so far from a rebuild. It's been, when did he retire? When did Fergie go? 2012? Was that when the last time they won?
Yeah, I don't follow Man U very closely.
Was 2012, 2013 was his last season.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. So over 10 years ago.
Yeah, so again, my question is, who do you want? Who's out there?
Not Ten Hag. Not somebody because I question who he brings in as well. Anthony,
and he at 100 million. Yeah,
and he overpaid for him. And it's come out recently that the advisors that the scouting advisors that say, okay, this is what he's worth, actually said don't pay more than 60 for him. And he said, no, we got to go get him. Just because he crushed it for you at Ajax in the Dutch Super League in the Everdies, like he's not. It's not going to translate over here.
Sorry. I'm not. France is closer to the Netherlands. I guess it just comes out.
Penalty. That is
and Onana, Jesus Christ, that first goal. He needs to go. He's out. I can't believe they made the decision to let De Gea walk and not sign him in place for Onana. That's terrible. And it's something as small as, and I'm not even a keeper, and I know this. The basic, when you're diving to one side, the basic thing that this is the dumbassery of it, is that we're going to get into the minutia of goalkeeping tactics. You don't go elbow first because there's that hole there. And that's what happened on the first goal. 4 minutes into Conor fucking Gallagher. Actually, I really like Conor Gallagher.
But exactly like you stated, it's interesting because I think a lot of coaches do that. They move from a smaller club to a bigger club. We talked about Moyes, and not a great example, but they work with these players in. I'm reluctant to say Ajax is smaller because Ajax is just a factory of young talent. But he literally just went and took a bunch of Ajax players, signed Anthony for way over asking, brought Onana over. Are they Man U players? Is Fellaini a Man U player?
Well, that was Moyes that did that. No, and he's my go-to example for the wretched, what kicked off this wretched period of time for United. But no, Fellaini's not a Man U player. I don't think Anthony is.
No, but you know what I mean. I was trying to build like some background to it.
No, I agree, but I'm looking at everybody else. Why is it that there's players that other clubs will bring in that work out? City's the big one. Like everybody, they always seem to hit. And maybe we're just not aware of the ones that they that don't work out because they play less because they're already star-studded. But City seems to bring in some good, like they hit the majority of the time. Friggin' Arsenal, I know they took a while to get their stuff together, but Martin Odegaard, everybody they brought in, Declan Rice, Odegaard, who's the Belgian there? Trossard?
Yeah, we don't talk about Belgians on this podcast, unfortunately.
And then you look at United and then Liverpool, right? And Liverpool hasn't been a total area of success. They've had some successes under Klopp, but I'd look at the Liverpool rebuild almost the same as the United one, where there was more success with United, especially historically speaking in the Prem. I'm not talking about all-time success, but Klopp had a lot to clean up, and he did. Versus we're on manager number what now? And again, you're right, the revolving door, but I don't think Ten Hag's the guy. I was excited when they made the announcement however long after Ragnick, but it's not happening, and I don't see vision and I don't see structure. Like when I watch United play, I don't know what they are. I watch Chelsea, I know what they are. I watch Arsenal, I know what they are. You watch City, it's a Pep team, it's City. And Pep does a decent job with adapting. You watch Liverpool, you always knew what you were going to get with Liverpool. You watch United, I don't know. It's going back to Ollie, you had no idea what they were doing. There was no structure. It just seemed like 11 guys out there playing 11 aside.
Can
You
I
watch him under-
input something quick?
Yeah.
I think you brought up a really, really good point, and my personal opinion about Manchester United is the old boys club. So they've been holding on to pieces up until Ratcliffe in the last 2 years. All of the people in the back of house that are making all the real decisions, they're all old boys club. So they find these players and they want these players and they spend big money on these players. I think that's the difference between the other teams where they've got some new scouts, some new 100%. And I think Manchester United got stuck in that time period where they just kept hiring Carrick. They kept hiring those people, Giggs, who had been in the system before, and they just relied on them. And
they were trying to recapture that Fergie essence, right? Which 100%. I think, and the greatest thing about Fergie was that he was a masterclass at adapting. He was never just one thing. You don't have success from the early 90s to 2012, basically a 20-year time span of success, by doing the same thing. The game changes. You have to change. And United is just like, well, let's just get people who are like Fergie or trained under Fergie. And I don't think that was the move. And it's been a shit show for 15 years now.
When you mentioned my absolute nemesis in how he's adaptable, and I completely disagree. Pep Guardiola is not adaptable. He's adaptable to a checkbook. He just gets a bunch of zeros on the end. Ferguson, that guy picked up 16 players 10 times under their evaluation of what they were sold.
Yeah, we could do a whole show on Fergie, but the point is like the here and now with United, and this latest defeat to Chelsea, I think just showed like where's the composure, where's the ability to get it done during crunch time. They got beat in Fergie time. Like how embarrassing is that as United? And they've had a few where they've done, Liverpool recently against Liverpool in the cup. And then another game before that. And there's some good young players coming up, like Garnacho. I'm a big fan of Garnacho. He didn't do so well for Argentina here over the last international break because he was trying to be Ronaldo, but that's besides the point. He's been doing well for United. I like Kobe Manu. I hope he's not just a flash in the pan. I love Rashford, but either he needs to take a hold of a chance and be given a chance. I mean, now you've got Rasmus Højlund there up front, and I know Rashford likes to play up front, but so either he's got to take advantage or he's got to go. Right, it's been a while, and we know what you are at this point. You're 26. You are what you are, and if it's not working out, it's got to be somewhere else. It's a shame about Martial, But again, how many names are you going to run through where like it's just they haven't worked out, and they haven't worked out, and Casemiro's been all right. There's some injury issues there, but it's definitely not the Madrid team he's used to playing with, and you can see how he's not he definitely wasn't the driver in that Madrid team. He was a good piece to have, and I think Casemiro would be a good piece to have with United if they were able to actually build a team around him.
Well, exactly like you said, sure, Casemiro's older now. His flaws are getting identified a lot more. And again, he played in a midfield with Kroos and Modric, and they were pushing up, so everyone else had to figure it out, and Casemiro had a little more time to play with. And now that he doesn't have that time to play with, he's getting exposed a bit. And again, I understand he's older.
No, I don't.
My ACL
I don't think
constantly.
I don't think he's getting sometimes, yeah, but I don't think it's that bad. Like I like Casemiro in the middle for them, but I don't like him as the anchor, right? And Bruno's doing what he can, but again, Bruno's going to be a bit older here in the next few years when they're eventually, hopefully, good if they do end up turning it around, whatever it is. But I'm just asking for please have some sort of vision moving forward, and that's what Ratcliffe will bring in. But okay. Did I pull the plug too early on Ten Hag? I haven't been impressed at all with
I think you're pulling the plug too early because personally, you shared a piece I adored where it was
Chelsea.
Man, you had no fight. Man, you had this. Man, you had that. I've been saying that for the last 3 years, and the fact that my fightless Chelsea beat your ass in Fergie time, incroyable.
Yeah, there's just I think they're looking at they bring in a lot of these players that are maybe not a flash in the pan, but they'd be coming off the bench somewhere else, or they didn't really understand what was successful for them. Harry Maguire gets a lot of flack, but I think what they kind of forgot was Harry Maguire is best when he's three in the back, and traditionally you're playing three in the back when you don't have that strong of a center back duo or center backs at all, right? And Leicester played such a different game, such a different style to United that it was more conducive to him. So that's where you got to question, like, what are these scouts seeing? And if it's not the scouts, what are these managers seeing that, like, when they're building a team, how is this player going to fit in? Who was it, Mourinho, or was it somebody? I can't remember. It might have been Mourinho that said, like, you could bring in the best 11 players, but you're not going to have the best team, right? You got to build to what you're looking to set up and establish, what your strategy is. And if you don't do that, and Manchester United does not have that, they don't have it at all, then you're fucked. You're hooped. You just have 11 guys out there playing 11 aside. That's it.
Yep. I'll use Inter Milan as a great example. The year they won the Champions League, what was that?
2010 with Mourinho?
Yeah, 2010. That was not the best team in the tournament. They beat probably one of the best Barcelona teams to ever exist, or one of the best soccer teams to ever exist. Football, my apologies. It was a pretty
good team.
But exactly like you said, it's Mourinho played players and played a system that worked for everybody. I agree with you though. I think Ten Hag's playing a system, and he does not have the players who can play the system. Harry Maguire is a great example. Harry Maguire is not a total football Dutch guy. That guy's rough and tough. If he doesn't have the support when he goes for a little bit of a risky challenge, they get exposed.
Well, if he has a system, please tell me. United does have flashes and moments of brilliance. I mean, the second Garnacho goal it was the second one off the wing from Antony outside the left. Like, he actually came in handy there. That was a nice little counterattack. But if Ten Hag's got a system, I'd love for you to explain it to me, because when I watch it, I'm just thoroughly bored and just. I think I called it before. I'm like, oh yeah, Chelsea's got this. They're going to beat them, no problem.
I think we don't see the system because he's playing a system, but the players he has aren't used to it. You watch Harry Maguire go to the English team. That guy is like Maguire-Lini, playing out of his mind. The second he goes back to Man U, that's a penalty for sure. But the second he goes back to Man U, he's nobody.
It's too much to put on one player and one manager. Like I said, this game today wasn't all on Ten Hag, and it wasn't all on Harry Maguire or even Diego Dallo, who gave away the penalty. Bad luck. He fell. It's on the team as a whole, and then you got to look at, okay, so who's building the team, right? And unfortunately, it falls with Eric Ten Hag, and I'm done with it. Out.
Wow.
Unless they have a phenomenal summer transfer window here, or reset. I don't know how you do it, because you're not going to fix it over one transfer window, but there could be a start. So Ratcliffe comes in January, and they don't really have much time to do anything there. So it's probably the summer. I guess maybe I'll hold judgment until the summer transfer window and see what happens. But I'm not looking forward to next season under Ten Hag. I was thinking about that. Like, when is he on the hot seat? What's it going to take if you're going to fix United? Ratcliffe was a good start. It needs to be, you need to adapt or die. And like Ronaldo said it best when he was there. He goes, and maybe he was a little butthurt about how he was treated. I don't think he was treated fairly there, but he said, like, nothing's changed since I've been gone. He even called it out. He said nothing's changed. And if nothing's changed in 10 years, of course you're not going to do well.
Yeah.
So let's see what happens in the summer.
Yeah, imagine if you brought in Zizou.
Does he speak English?
No, he does not great English, but
do they speak English in Algeria? I don't think so.
No, they don't, but he can speak a couple other languages.
That's going to get us kicked off YouTube.